Hi everybody. I'm a little excited today. I just love launches. I'm Tanya and I created a Soul Tribe 3 years ago now, and I'm feeling so honored today that I get to host the launch for the beautiful Hilary. Hilary has been with us for a little while now, but she's really decided that she'd like to share this more with her friends. She'd like to really officially launch her business, which is exciting, and it's great that we get to do that today. So thank you to everyone who has turned up today in support of Hilary, whether you be a friend or family member or a team member who are supporting her. Thank you so much. Every one of you means the world to her today, because I know it can be a little bit nerve-wracking for the first time. So what you're going to hear today, obviously you're going to hear from Hilary. You're going to hear why she decided to join our mission, this beautiful mission. You'll also hear a little bit about my journey, why I said yes right from the start, why I created Soul Tribe, and I'll also explain to you a little bit around our program and our nutritional support. And you'll also hear from one of my best friends and the lady who sponsored Hilary and introduced her to the business, Maxine. You'll hear why she also decided to join our beautiful mission as well. Because essentially, we're just normal people. We are normal people like you, and we just wanted to make a difference to our own lives, for ourselves and our family, but we also wanted to make a difference to other people's lives as well. And so essentially, that's where we've all started from. So I'll just share a little bit about my own journey myself. So I'm a mum of 4 adult children and 2 teenage stepchildren. And I was in a place where I was pretty unwell. I had been run off my feet for a long time. My youngest daughter was not in a really good place either. She suffered a lot from anxiety and had panic attacks regularly. She was cutting to relieve the pain. I had a lot of pain, a lot of chronic pain from an autoimmune disorder, and I had huge exhaustion, so massive fatigue. I struggled to get through my day and just was trying everything to heal my body. And I just was getting sick all the time. Nothing was working for me. My hair was falling out, my skin was a mess. I was getting all sorts of different viruses popping up all the time. I had a constant throw of thrush and UTIs, and I just wasn't getting on top of anything. I'd spent thousands and a huge amount of time trying all sorts of different therapies and supplements and treatments, and nothing was working for me. So when I discovered this accidentally, this program, although I believe that nothing is accidental, that everything is meant to happen when it's meant to happen, I watched my friend get well when she had been really sick for a long time as well, and I thought, what have I got to lose? If this works for her, then this could even work for me. It could be what I'm looking for. And within a few days, I felt amazingly better. What I found was my energy started increasing, and then over time, the chronic pain started disappearing. My hair started, stopped falling out. My skin started healing. And now it's 3 years later, and I feel the healthiest that I've ever been in my entire life. I've just turned 50, and I think that's pretty exciting, to feel really healthy at 50, when a lot of my friends around me are actually starting to feel pain and niggles in their joints, and they're saying, oh, isn't that part of getting older? No, it's not normal. It's actually not normal to have pains in our joints as we get older. We're not supposed to have that. We're supposed to have the nutrients that our body is designed to have, so that it can function really, really well. So essentially, when I started feeling so much better, so much quicker, I decided that this was something I wanted to share with the rest of the world. I had friends and family that were sick. I just lost my dad from cancer, and I thought, I didn't want anyone to suffer the way that he suffered. I don't think anyone deserves that. And I saw this as a way of preventing any kind of really serious chronic terminal illness as much as I could. And so this was my mission. And I thought, right, I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to really help save the world in the best way that I can possibly. The other thing that I was feeling fairly stuck around at the time too is that I was limited with my job. I really wanted to impact the world and make a bigger difference in what I was making as a social worker. I was feeling very run down and very stuck and stayed, that the people that I was working with actually didn't want my support. And so I saw this as a way of making a massive impact, and the kind of impact that I really wanted to make. Because not only was I helping people with their health, but I was also offering women, particularly because I love working with women, an opportunity to actually create a better life for themselves, to realize their potential, and to create some financial independence and some financial security. And of course, along the way, building confidence and self-esteem. And that's what I absolutely adore about this. And of course, what that meant is it really ticked our big box. My husband and I, we had a big box to tick around traveling, being able to travel, not having to think so or worry about what's going to happen when we retire in 15 years' time. And we don't have enough money to do what it is that we want to do, and having to work our asses off up until then, you know, getting 40% of what we'd earned for the last 40 years working full time. And that to me was such a waste of life and such a waste of time. So I saw this as an opportunity to grow something for myself and for my husband, but also to be able to contribute to the world financially, but you know, in a impactful, purposeful way as well. So, you know, here I am 3 years later. After 4 months of being in the business, I actually left my job and we traveled around Asia for 10 weeks, and I got paid. The mortgage was paid, and that's all because of this beautiful online opportunity that we have here. And it's 3 years later, as I said, and I'm a lifer. I absolutely love this opportunity. It's absolutely saved my life. It's changed my life. Not only did the program and the product save my life, this actually has changed my life for the better. And it's given me so much more purpose, which is just incredible. So, you know, and we just really wanted to give you the opportunity to have a look at what Hilary's doing, why she really loves this, because I know she absolutely loves our program and our nutritional support. She's certainly a huge advocate of it, but we've also got the beautiful business behind it, which is why Hilary wanted to get involved too, but you'll hear more about her story soon. So what I thought I would do is I would share a little bit about our program so you understand a little bit about it and our nutritional support and why they work so beautifully together. So essentially our program is called the Soul Project, and the Soul Project Vitality Hub. And what we do is we encourage eating well, living well, and supplementing well through mind, body, and soul wellness. And so our program consists of tools and resources around aligning and keeping our mind, our body, and our soul really well. So when we're thinking about our mind and our soul, we're looking at things like grounding, meditation, mindfulness, gratitude, yoga, all those beautiful things that actually keep us in the moment, present, grateful, and calm and peaceful. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't have. You know, we might work on our body and we might get our body well, or we might actually lose weight and get down to the goal weight that we want to, and we might feel good in our body. But if our mind is unhealthy, if we're still carrying a lot of old beliefs that aren't serving us anymore, or if we're highly stressed, that really impacts on our body, and we're actually not doing it any favors. We're actually keeping ourselves at a high fight and flight state, which is a highly stressed state, which means our body is working overtime. So it's really important that we're aligning all three together so that we can support our whole body to feel peaceful, to feel healthy, to feel joyful, abundant, and grateful. So we have 10-day challenges every month where we use the resources in our program, we do what we call a 10-day reboot, where we do a 3-day soul detox and then a 7-day body detox. And in that time, we're creating healthy habits that we can do daily and we continue to use. Our program everything is online. We have recipes, we have resources, we have webinars from professionals, we have all sorts of different exercise opportunities, lots of different ones that will suit each person. That is open and available to you. Once you become an active customer, you actually have access to our beautiful website, which has so much on it. And then even as an inactive customer, you've got access to our Facebook group for life, which is really exciting. It's not often you do that. You usually have to pay something every single month to stay in the program, right? But we're actually offering it to you for life, which is really cool. So why do we align ourselves and partner with the Juice Plus products? We love our Juice Plus products, and one of the main reasons we love about them is because they're plants. They're made of plants 100%, and we believe that plants are of a high frequency. They are very, very light, and they're really good for our soul, really good for our mind. There's a massive link between good gut health and good mental health, and plants are gut food. Basically, they give our guts everything that they need. And part of our program is we use a how to plate up philosophy, where we're looking at what are people putting on their plates. For most of us are having about 70 to 80% highly processed carbs, highly processed dairy, highly processed meats, refined sugars, and lots of additives and synthetic processed foods, which is really not good for our bodies. It's highly inflammatory foods, and it's just filling our bodies with more and more toxins, which is actually not supporting it at all. And then most of us are only having about 20 to 30% of plants on our plate. That's pretty sad, really sad. It's no wonder so many of us are sick. So what we do is we teach people that the way that we want to be eating, and the ideal amount of food that we want to put on our plate, is we want 60% plant-based carbohydrates. So these are just plants, especially our leafy greens, 30% high quality proteins and probiotics, and then 10% high quality healthy fats. Okay, and so our beautiful Juice Plus products support this as well, because we believe that you can eat as much good plants and probiotics and healthy fats as you want, but at the end of the day, we've got to be having between 9 and 13 recommended daily dose of fruits and vegetables every single day. Most of us are not getting that. And so our body has to be able to function really well. It has to be able to give us the energy we need to get through our day. It has to be able to detox normally just from our normal daily processes. And it needs to be able to heal, have the support it needs to heal itself of anything that's going wrong. And for most of us, the only thing that we're able to do is actually function, and not necessarily highly either. So what our beautiful products do is they support that, so that we're getting more than what we are getting on our plates. We're giving our bodies so much more. So when we think about 10% healthy fats, we have our beautiful Omega blend. These are gorgeous. These are 100% plants. And when I say blend, they are 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9 omegas, not just 3. And the reason we do this is because there is so much goodness for our bodies in every omega. Now we do not take anything from fish. When we think about fish, they actually don't naturally have omega-3 within them. They have to eat the algae to get the omega-3. And then for us to get the omega-3 out of the fish, it takes a heat process. And that heat process can destroy the oil, the omega-3 oil, and can often make it toxic. So we're actually ingesting toxic omegas, which are not going to do our body any good. It's only going to make it feel worse, and our body's going to have to get rid of more toxins, right? It's a bit of a double-edged sword. So we skip the fish. We grow mostly algae in a clean environment, And then we have another 5 plant and seed sources as well, which comes from it. And these are beautiful. They taste like orange, highly sustainable. So we're not actually taking fish from our sea, and most fish are high in mercury anyway, which is not good for us. Now, once we've got our beautiful nervous system, so we've got healthy fats for our nervous system, once we've got that beautifully, our myelin sheaths for our neural pathways beautifully coated in that lovely oil, we're able to respond better to things. So we feel calmer and our mood improves a lot more. And once we feel calmer, we know this, if we're feeling in a highly stressed state, the last thing we want to be doing is digesting food. It's like, actually Tammy talked about this last night, which was a great example. You know, when you're getting chased by a saber-toothed tiger, you know, the last thing you're thinking about is let's stop and have something to eat. You're running, right? You're highly stressed. You're in fight or flight mode. And that's what most of us are in these days, because we're highly stressed all the time. So once we're actually giving our nervous system the beautiful healthy fats, we're responding better. So our body is more available and more ready to digest food. So then what we do is we're supporting our bodies to digest food by giving it some really beautiful plant-based protein. And not only do we have plant-based protein in here, but we also have vegetable extracts. We have pro and prebiotics in our superfoods. And we also have added B vitamins, particularly niacin, which is really, really good for mood enhancing. Now, these are beautiful, again, 100% plants, nothing synthetic added. It all comes from food, so our body knows exactly what it is. It supports our digestive system and gives our digestive system the gut bacteria, the healthy flora that it needs to digest food properly. So these are amazing for that. I do love these too. I'm someone who's never enjoyed drinking my food. I always like eating it, but I'm absolutely addicted to these now. 2 yummy flavors, chocolate and vanilla. But what I love about them is that they're so easy and convenient. These are much healthier than grabbing a muesli bar or a chocolate bar or a bag of chippies. These are way better for you. These are great for kids' snacks after school, amazing for hot chocolates. And that we use them also in our program for a lot of baking as well. These make beautiful breakfast pancakes, really nice, as part of our reboot. So that's those. Love them. I'm a traveler too, and these are great for traveling. They're really good. Or when you're on the run and you're a bit of a breakfast or a meal skipper, they're really good for that too. Now, when we think of our next system, we've got our digestive system, really healthy, digesting food, lots of good, healthy flora. And then what we need is we need the nutrients to actually feed it to support our immune system. And so this is where our beautiful fruits, veggies, and berries come in. Now, these are essentially 33 fruits, veggies, and berries inside a vegan capsule. So the entire fruit, seeds, skins, stems, everything have been pulverized down, and that then they have been dehydrated at a really low temperature and popped in a vegan capsule. And that's to keep oxidation from happening. So they are completely sealed where no oxygen can actually get in and destroy it. So they're effectively work straight away. They go in your bloodstream within 7 minutes, and they work at a cellular level. They give you they are taken to where your body needs it the most. Now we're talking, if you think about one apple, for example, we're talking an apple has thousands of phytonutrients. We have millions of phytonutrients in here. So it's not comparable to a fractured synthetic vitamin or mineral tablet, supplement. So much different. These are bioavailable because they're food. Your body knows what they're for. Your body knows what to do with them, and your body knows what part of your body needs it the most. So these are incredible for healing. No wonder we have such beautiful results and so many beautiful testimonials from our customers. I mean, obviously, we've got research to back them as well. We're the most highly researched company in the world. We've got over 40 studies that prove that these are absorbed into our bloodstream and they are used by the body in so many different areas of our body that these have been researched, and proves that they improve immunity, they reduce inflammation, they improve lung function, so many different things that we have research around. And then, of course, my favourite bit is our beautiful company has the biggest heart, and when an adult purchases our premiums, our fruits, veggies and our berries, a child gets them for free. Because our company has a massive mission themselves where they really want to support children to be creating a healthier body and a healthier lifestyle into their future. So these are scrumptious. I'm actually totally addicted to these, particularly the veggie ones. They're so yum. And they are exactly the same as what's in our fruits and veggie capsules. They're just in a chewy form so that they're nice and palatable for the kids. So how cool is that? Getting free chews for your children. How awesome is that, knowing that if you've got a sick child or grandchild or niece or nephew or friend's child or neighbour's child or whatever, that you can actually support their health for free. That's pretty amazing. And, you know, you can do that for up to 4 years for any child between the ages of 4 and 18. So that's exciting. So every time you become an active customer, you use any one of our nutritional support products, you instantly become a customer, you have access to our beautiful program. So that's essentially our program and our products. I'm going to now spotlight the lady of the hour, because this is why we're here, right? We're here because we are, I'm just going to find, oh, your Galaxy S20, Hilary. We're here because we want to hear from Hilary. Hi, gorgeous. Do you want to just unmute? Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, learning to drive Zoom.
I love it. Love it. So, and your friends are probably anxiously waiting to hear from you too. So I know I did talk a little bit too much, but I would love to look at you sitting in your caravan.
I know. Coming to you live from the Hilton.
Great. It's great. So please tell your friends and us, what is it that got you really excited about this when you first were introduced to it? Because I know you saw it through Maxine, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Well, Maxine and I were talking about this the other day. Was probably a year ago that Maxine actually introduced me to the products. They sounded amazing. And I've always believed in the power of fruit and vegetables. That's predominantly what we do eat. But it just seemed too simple. Like, that was the thing that got me. I just had drawers full of supplements. I just moved to Waiheke and I knew exactly what I had because I humped it all with me. And it was probably that really that made me resist it for a little bit longer. But then, as I say, I'd moved to Waiheke and it was really difficult to get fresh produce, and really, really difficult. And I had no water to grow anything, which was another issue. And so I thought, oh, give them a go. They're going to be good for me, you know. And through that, I also got one of my grandchildren onto the products as well. And honestly, within a month, the changes were just insane. Probably starting with, actually, I'll tell you a little bit about my journey, probably. I'll backtrack a wee bit. The last 4 years have been quite difficult health-wise. But in saying that, I was actually reflecting back, and I don't know if I've ever really been quite well. You know, I've always had endo and fibroids, and I drank excessively for many years as well, which was not good. But then the last 4 years, I had breast cancer, and then I bounced straight into major back surgery from that. And I was also dealing with getting out of my marriage, which was really tricky. So I was really stressed and just desperate to feel well, really. So I was pretty much prepared to try anything. So anyway, so a month after taking them, I had complete numbness in my left foot. I had no feeling after the back surgery. A surgeon had said I'd gained everything I could, physio agreed, and so I just sort of thought, well, that's that. And I was standing there, we were preparing to move to Nelson, and I could feel warmth underneath my foot. And it was a busy time. I never connected it. And it's now that I understand the inflammation in the body and how that's receding. And it's incredible.
Wow, sorry, I muted myself and I was completely absorbed by your story because I've never actually heard it before, Hilary. It's amazing.
Oh, you know, the last 4 years have been a real struggle. And I can honestly say today, and I know I feel well today because I had a situation throughout COVID where I was unable to get my products. Within 3 days, I was menopausal. My energy levels went down into my boots and the pain came back. And it was very, very unpleasant. And so I will not be without these now at all.
I love that. I love that. I love that. And I know that we have talked a little bit about your grandchildren or your grandson,
Yeah.
is it? Do you want to share that too?
Well, the main, so throughout now, through my daughters all coming on board, and because of the way this amazing company sponsors our children, we've managed to get, I've got 6 grandchildren, we've managed to get them on the products, and 2 of them very, very chronic asthmatics, hospitalised, pneumonia. Last year, the youngest one was in hospital twice. They're on Waiheke. It's an absolute drama for them to get off the island, aside from the fact of all the stress of her being unwell. And they're just having their best winter. She's had a couple of colds, but it hasn't developed into anything else. The main thing for me is she was only 2 when she was diagnosed, and the asthma medication that we're given today is just so harmful for teeth. So for me, this is the best thing I can do for them. Just, yeah, to know that they're well, that they can go to school. It's huge. And they love them. You know, I'm very privileged to live with 2 here in Nelson. It's the first thing out of their mouth when I come in the door. You know, can they have their vitamins? And
Oh,
yeah,
that's beautiful. I love that. The power of fruits and veggies when you see it in your own loved ones, in yourself and your own loved ones. That is just absolutely beautiful, and so many reasons why we do this, right? So,
we eat like this. We eat a lot of fruit and veggies, but I've got no idea what it's grown in. I've stopped myself researching sprays because it's not a positive thing. It's not an easy thing to stand there and chew your cauliflower when you don't know what's actually on it. The abundance of even spray-free produce is really, really difficult to get. And I love fresh juices and things like that. And it's, yeah, it's difficult.
I love that. And I know that when you first were introduced to this, it was because, didn't you respond to a business ad that Maxine had put up? Is that why was that your first contact?
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So part of the stress of my life has been exiting my marriage and realizing that very cleverly he had actually ring-barked my income for the last 8 years. And I'm now just so passionate about building something for myself and my family. And I'm not going to do that by nursing. I am actually a registered nurse, and my passion has always been in the community. It's always been about keeping people at home, keeping them well. And it's a very difficult profession, you know, every day more and more is just required of you. And you've actually got to go, well, actually, no, you know, there's better ways to help people. And I think for me personally, this is it.
I understand. I'm right there with you. I felt the same as a social worker, that I was very limited to processes and procedures and funding, and you know, there was only so much I could do, and there were families being referred to me from services who didn't actually want my support. Whereas this feels very different because people are ready for change. They're wanting to look at something that's going to improve their life or their family's life. So tell us what you're excited about. I know you've just got your little new caravan. Tell us about what you're excited about, what this business is going to bring for you. Maxine's applauding.
Oh, gee, I can't see it. This caravan, this has been a dream. And so she only arrived yesterday, so it's all I'm pretty distracted with all of that at the moment. So I decided, so after probably 2 months of taking the products, I thought, well, I'm definitely going to look at this further. But now that I'm this far down the track, it's just like, it's like you said, I want to go out and save the world. If not save the world, I want so many people to try these because they are just incredible for your health. and I meet on the daily really amazing people. People's stories are very humbling. You know, people are dealing with so much at the moment. And mental health, you know, everybody's struggling. And I just feel really blessed, to be honest, to have something that can help, that is affordable, that's just supporting your whole family.
Yeah. That's great. And for you, obviously, bringing you that income as well, that security, right? So that you can do, I mean, what would you love? You're thinking about, you know, your future and your financial security. What would you love out of this? What are you excited about?
Oh, I'd just love to be able to give back more, to be honest. You know, to be able to sow into my grandchildren's lives now while I'm alive, rather than leaving it to them when I die. You know, I'd love to be able to play for the, you know, the guitar lessons and the gymnastics, and we're all pretty excited to go off and explore the South Island, in the Hilton. And
I think you should call it that, by the way.
it's starting to grow on me, better than the Nana van, but anyway. I like simple, I like calm, and I like peaceful. And so I'm not looking to go out and do huge things. Just freedom, really. I think it all comes down to that, having the freedom to choose.
Yeah, amen to that one. And, you know, being a hands-on grandma, that's one of my things too. That must be an incredible feeling.
It is,
Yeah,
really
knowing you can be there. Well, thank you for sharing, Hilary. You've actually, I didn't realize a lot about your story. I now understand a lot more about how big your health was. I had no idea your health journey was so huge, and it started such a long time ago. Very similar to mine, really. Mine started a long time before I found this program.
Can I just add one more thing? I was really worried about forgetting things. The one thing that I am so excited about, and every month there's something different that I notice. And I was talking to someone and I suddenly realized I don't get up and go to the loo in the night anymore. Now I was getting up at least twice, so that's really broken sleep. I've always had bladder issues, and I was staring down the barrel of those incontinence knickers, you know, that you look like real underwear. I don't have those issues. My bladder has strengthened. I no longer have blood in it, which I've had since I was 15, which has been unexplained. And everything's just healing. And yeah, it's amazing. And I'm starting to write down things now instead of taking things for granted. As I say, the menopause symptoms completely gone, and they were really debilitating. You know, I'd be trying to take someone's blood in a hot flush, you know, and you can't see out your glasses, and
Wow.
I just feel really balanced, and it's great.
That's massive. That's huge. It's really huge. So much healing. Isn't it incredible what your body can do with the right environment? It really is. Yeah. Well, thank you, Hilary. We are going to come back to you. So, you know, don't sit tight yet. But I'm going to go now to my beautiful friend Maxine and the lovely lady who sponsored Hilary in this business and introduced her. And, you know, Maxine, we'd love to hear a little bit about you and why you what really wanted to be part of this mission, because I know you started as my customer, didn't you, way back?
Yes, that's right. I was also in a pretty bad place with my health. My daughter had been on quite a long journey of ill health, and I was very at quite a low ebb with my health. I think I had adrenal fatigue from a lot of the stress, and I was iron deficient. I also had a couple of other, like Hilary was saying, I had a couple of long-standing things even before that. You know, when I think about it, I had asthma since my 20s, chronic asthma, and I had no energy. I really had no energy. Every day was wading through treacle. That's how it felt. Really just trying to sort of get through every day. And I noticed as soon as I went on the capsules, on the products, I started, you know, being able to have a normal day again, where I could actually plan to do quite a lot of things in one day, and I hadn't realised how much I'd been limiting my life and really being very careful about what I took on because of my energy levels. But I had started to do that a lot, and I immediately started feeling in a much better place with my energy. But really, the biggest thing for me with my health was my asthma, and I can very much relate to what Hilary was talking about with her grandchildren, because that was my story. Anyone who's suffered from asthma knows that come winter you get all the chest infections, you get everything, every bug that's goes into your lungs. And the winter before I went on the program in the products, I had a really nasty chest infection that didn't respond to antibiotics. I took one course after the other, and it was scary, you know. And I think this is what people sometimes come up against, is that, you know, okay, we have medical intervention for things, but what if it doesn't work, you know? This tragedy is a lot of people in New Zealand with asthma die of it, because the intervention just isn't enough. And so what I've found, I've been on the products for about just over 2 years now. I no longer get chest infections. I very rarely use my inhaler, and I used to use my inhaler several times a day. And so for me to actually be able to heal from asthma was something I just didn't think would ever happen. And, you know, living on that knife edge of it becoming worse and really, really serious, it's just such an incredible feeling to think that I don't have that worry anymore. I'm really healing my body at a very, very deep level. I also relate to what Hilary said, that I kind of notice new things all the time. It's very much, you know, an onion peeling process. The body's just regenerating in layers over time. It's incredible. And yeah, I agree. You know, it's hard to believe that this something so simple could be so powerful, but it really is. And I also, my daughter that was sick had lots of problems with chronic fatigue and terrible eczema all over her body, and all of this resolved as well. We put her on the products, and over 6 months or so, that all resolved as well. So yeah, and I met Hilary online, as we've said, and we clicked immediately because I think both being registered nurses, we were very much, both felt very much the same, that you get very sick of being the ambulance at the bottom of the cliff. You can see so much of what's going on for people can be helped by good nutrition, by changing their lifestyle. You know, that it's not necessary to go down that road of taking medications and becoming more and more dependent and unwell. We can go the other direction, where we can heal, and we can really, you know, become the version of ourselves that our body is very capable of being well into old age. We know this. You know, we look at populations around the world where people do live healthily into old age, and that is the norm. That's possible, and it should be the norm. So I really, really love the fact that I've connected with Hilary, and that, you know, I think, you know, as nurses, you know, it is so exciting to be able to work in a way that really actually addresses real problems for people, and actually helps people in such a, you know, in such a wonderful way.
Thanks, Maxine. I'd love to hear a little bit too, and I think everyone here would benefit too, you know, your experience as a nurse and being a nurse in that corporate model as well, and the reason why you said yes to this opportunity, because I know that's very powerful as well.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
That if you'd like to.
Yes, absolutely. and I think that's another thing I love about this, is that I got myself really well, but it also gave me a vehicle to create a very different lifestyle for myself by working as a partner with the company. I'm at the empty nest phase. I don't have the grandchildren yet, but I mean, they're probably not going to be too far away. And again, I really relate to what Hilary says. I want to be the hands-on grandmother. I want to be able to be supportive, not just in terms of my time, but also financially. I think you kind of get to your sort of 50-something age group, and you feel like life's not, life's just not going to last forever. It becomes very precious. Every day becomes very precious. You really want to spend you want the rest of your life to sort of be the best of your life, because in many ways it is. We've finished raising our children for the most part. We have a lot of ability to go out and do the things that we really want to do. So yeah, for me to go off to a job every day that wasn't really aligning with me, that was going to cost me a lot of time, and prevent me from doing the things I really wanted to do, I just knew I had to do something differently. And also it was a no-brainer for me, because that's how the world's going now anyway. Everything's going online. The possibilities for ways of earning an income online from your own home, from anywhere in the world, really, those possibilities are huge now. And I think a lot of traditional jobs are sort of disappearing, and we're kind of being forced to change the way we do things anyway. So for me, it was just sort of jumping on a wave that, a very exciting wave that's going to give me a very different life going forward.
Yeah, and what I love about it too is how fair and ethical the business model is compared to our corporate model, which really forces people to be working for someone else and someone else's dreams that actually don't serve them going forward. So yeah, thank you for your share.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for your share, Maxine.
You're welcome.
I love hearing your story, always. We're going to go back to Hilary again, and I'm just going to ask you a couple more questions, Hilary. So if you just want to, lovely. So for you, I think thinking about, you might have some friends on here that are watching this now, or that might watch the recording later, and they may be thinking, oh, I'm not sure if this is for me or not. They might be a little bit excited about it, but they're a bit unsure about taking the plunge. What would you say to them? Whether it be about the program or the product or the business, what would you say to them?
I'd firstly invest in your health. I could be 3 months even further down the track if I hadn't resisted starting them. And for the way it worked for me, it was just such a natural progression. The belief I have in these products is huge, and I feel so differently. And just try them, just do a one-off and see how you go. And then I would really encourage them to look at the business model, because it just makes sense. It really does.
It does make sense. I agree. I had a very similar story actually with my son. I was actually an asthmatic myself, and I'm the same. I don't actually use inhaler at all. I never get symptoms anymore. But my son in particular was a severe asthmatic, and we had every year he was in hospital with some kind of lung issue. I remember he had a collapsed lung at some point as a child. He's now 23. He's been using the products now for 2 years, and he was getting sick all the time as a caregiver, constantly. He hasn't been sick for 2 years, and he hardly uses his inhaler. He said to me the other day, he said, Mum, do you know I've hardly used my inhaler? And he used to every winter, like Maxine, get a chest infection, end up in hospital every time. So, so much to love about our beautiful program and products, and so much to love about our business, seeing so many women like Hilary, like Maxine, who have really stepped into creating something that they love, for yourself and also into your future. Is there anything, Hilary, that you would love to share with your friends on here before we go? Any last words, comments?
Oh, look, honestly, just thank you for taking the time. If you've been able to jump on, that's cool. If not, if you've watched it later, and if you've got any questions, just get back to me. Truly, it's just been the best thing I've done.
Thank you. Thank you, Hilary, and thank you to everybody for turning up today. I share Hilary's sentiments with, you know, how much we appreciate you being here and supporting her and listening, staying on and listening. And if you're watching this recording as well, thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch the recording. Now, if you've got any questions, you may be sitting here thinking, oh, I'd really like to give this a go, but I'm just not sure. I have a few questions. Please reach out to Hilary and ask her. She was more than happy to answer all your questions that you have. And of course, she's got Maxine and myself to support her as well if she's not able to answer any of them. But she's been with us for quite a while now and I'm certain is 100% capable of answering all your questions. You know, and so, the other thing is too, if you're you know, thinking that, look, this is not for you, but you may know someone who's unwell, you may know someone who's in a really difficult financial situation, who's ready to step into something new, and you might think that this could be for them. If that's the case, have a chat with them, have a chat with Hilary, and get all your questions answered, and I'm sure that she would be more than happy to send this through to you, this recording through to you, to your friend as well. So again, thank you for today. We're going to finish up. Have an enjoyable rest of your day. See you later.